Greetings. This is the first in a series of instructional videos on using Smart Notebook software to create multimedia presentations for use in the classroom. The reason for this presentation is to show you, inform you of the ways I'll have um, my toolbars set up when I'm using Smart Notebook software through the rest of the tutorial videos. Uh, I'll do a little bit of work. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about customizing the toolbars. I'm going to talk about my preferences, and then I'm going to talk about the reasons for my preferences. So the first thing we'll talk about is customizing the toolbars. Your toolbar, when you open up Smart Notebook, may not look the same as mine does. I've done a little bit of work customizing. If you want to customize, all you have to do is click in the right click in the bar up top, and that brings up the customized toolbar. Then there's two blocks, and you can see when the actions tab here is selected, I've got this block of tools or actions as they call them that I can edit. Now I can add more tools, I can take tools away. It depends on what I want. At this point I've got the things that I need or that I want for my classroom on the toolbar already. So to add something, let's say I wanted to be able to access Smart Keyboard from the toolbar here. I could take Smart Keyboard, this tool, I click, hold that click, and then drag it up to some place that I want it. Now, where do I want it? If I want it there, I let it go, and you can see that that tool hops in there. If I don't want it, I can just click it and pull it out, and it goes away. So that's how I would add any of these nice little actions. If I want the tools that you can see they're grayed out over here, then click on the Tools tab. You can see the actions gray out, and now I've got my tools. And I can add any of these tools into this toolbar that I use or that I would like to have. Um, I've already added pretty much everything that's there, and the reason why, or at least part of the reason why, is I like to be able to use this toolbar. So that's customizing the toolbar. Again, the tools add the same way that the actions did. Just drag one into some place that you want it in the bar, and then it's let go what's there. So that's customizing. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about my preferences. My preferences all started with this, and if you're not familiar with it, this is the floating toolbar. So you can, if you're not aware, you can click and drag that to the other side of the screen. But to me, it doesn't matter where it is. This floating toolbar gets in my way. So the thing I've done is get rid of the floating toolbar. And I've done that every time I've used Smart Notebook in any case. So to do that on my PC, I'm going to go to Show Hidden Icons, and here's the the Smartboard icon here. It's a little blue box with a white circle in it. Looks like a white donut. If I right click on that, I get a bunch of options. One of them is Hide Floating Tools. So once I found Hide Floating Tools, my world got extremely better. Now, again, this is my preferences. I'm not saying this is something you need to do. The caveat is if you hide your floating tools and you decide to go to a full screen video or a full screen view of your presentation, now you've lost some of the function that you might have with that floating tool, the ability to switch pens or switch pen colors using that menu. Uh, so because of this, and not only because of this, I like to have all these tools available, and I'm not a huge fan of the floating toolbar, so I don't use the full screen view um, that is probably what everyone uses. Um, I don't use it because I don't like it. I like to have all these tools accessible. I set them up, customize them so that they've got all the different kinds of tools that I would want to have, and it's a system that works for me. Now, I teach in a middle school setting. I've got sixth graders, but my smartboard is mounted pretty high on the wall. As a result, one of the things that I had to notice, or I noticed pretty quickly, is that this toolbar that comes in, the default is up top. It doesn't make sense for it to be up top if I want my students to be able to use it. So right over here, there's a little double arrow here, and it says to move toolbar to top bottom of window. So if I click that, you can see it jumps down to the bottom. That's better for me because now not only I, but also my students can come up and if they need to, they can select a crayon to draw with, or they can use the magic pen or the shape recognition pen, or the one they like the most, the creative pen. So having these tools available to me quickly at the touch of a button, it's something I like, and that's why I set it up this way. Now, The next thing that I noticed once I put this toolbar at the bottom was that, oh look, I've got directional arrows on the bottom left corner of the screen, and no, directional arrows on the bottom left corner of the screen. That's pretty useless to me, and it's kind of duplicative. It makes it so that I have to stand in the left hand side on the left hand side of the board all the time. Not a fan. So another double arrow. If I click it, I can pop that menu over to the right hand side. And now I have got directional arrows on both sides of my smartboard, so it doesn't matter if I'm on the right or the left of the smartboard, I can navigate through my slides. I have a handheld slide turner and laser pointer that I can use to manage my slides as well, but it's nice when I'm at the board to be able to stand on either side of the board and manipulate it. So this is how I set up my toolbars. Again, not something that you have to do, but if you're going to be looking at presentations that I'm giving, the toolbar menus will be set up in this fashion, so it's good to know. That's it for this one. Thanks.